It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, and good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you last week? We had a short week because we came off of having the most spectacular prayer and awareness walk, talk, and conference, community conference. It was absolutely amazing. Still getting our bearings together. And it is amazing. Even now, this past weekend, still getting wonderful reviews. And it was just amazing. And I'm going to go all the way to Friday's show with the man, Freestyle Friday. And we talked about just taking care of your business. Yes, your business, your real business, how our lack of taking care of our beneficiaries and who's got a trust and who's got life insurance. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely wild between Malcolm Jamal's Warner's mom and wife, and then we had Chadwick Boseman's wife and brothers and mom and dad from afar. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. So make sure you go back and you look and watch what we talked about, because it just very well may be you who gets patched up caught up in this web of actual just not being prepared for when God closes your eyes. So pay attention. Today is shaking the Monday morning blues all over again. Can you believe we are here already? And it is our first Monday in the month of August. Time is flying by, and so is today's time. So we're going to go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's Do Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
Read something that said, you can't fool somebody that prays and talks to God about everything. Either tell them the truth or God will. And when I was little, I always used to hear, don't worry, everything will come to light. And that is literally the truth. You will see, the closer you get to God and the more you get into God's presence, there is no one and no thing in this life that can form against you and prosper. That is why the Bible says, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. And that is when you believe God for what he is doing in your life. That is when you trust God for what he is doing in your life. That is why you say the hard prayers. God, remove anything and anyone who are not meant for me. And you don't even have to explain. That is why you need to be intentional with your prayers. That is why you need to be intentional when you are talking to God during your quiet time. And if you don't have quiet time during the day, I highly recommend that you sit in God's presence and you enter that silence. The Bible says, enter silence and seek me. Then you will be in my presence. God hears you. God sees all things. But God will not force you to go to him. You have to have that urge and that willingness in your heart, in your spirit, and in your mind to seek God in all you do, to involve God in all you do, to allow God to lead you in this life. I hope this message reached the right group of people. God bless you.
Good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to the Tea Time with Pastor Steph. And it is Monday, and we are shaking the Monday morning blues. What a powerful, powerful PSA. You know, asking God to just remove everything and everybody out of your way who does not belong is amazing. It's a real wake-up call. Really, really. You got to mature in order to come to that realization. That's no joke. If you get to that point and say that to God, that means you really understand what God wants for your life. So consider yourself grown up when you get to that point. All right? All righty. Well, we know we've got some shout outs to do. So if my family is in the room, you're going to have to let me know. Other than that, I don't know. We got to check in from our lady Tamika. Good morning. Good morning. She's on this side of the camera. Can't wait to talk to you. So let's say good morning to our girl, Ketty. Good morning, Ketty. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We got a check-in from Miss Grace, I hope. Good morning, Miss Grace. Hope you're out there and you're doing well today. We must say good morning to the ladies that help us hold it down each and every day. Let's say good morning to our girl, Shantice. Hey, Shantice. Let's say good morning to our girl, Anika. Good morning, Anika. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, I got something a little different for our tip. So we've got some things that the experts say don't belong in the kitchen. Now, I really don't know what's on this list. I tell you, I like to read it when you read it because it helps me get that authentic feel the same way everybody else gets that authentic feel. Like, wow, what are you talking about? So they're talking about decluttering your kitchen and clearing out your kitchen from a whole bunch of stuff that they feel have no business in the kitchen at all. They're talking about appliance appliance clutter. What am I getting tongue-tied? Oh, they say, you know what? All these gadgets and all of these different appliances may not be good for the kitchen. First of all, it clutters up the look of your kitchen. And I got to tell you, as someone who only has 2 things on her counter, when everything else is off the counter, I'm really happy. It looks really, really good. They say, you know, they know you start off with the coffee makers and all of that kind of stuff, but get ready the juicer, the soda maker, the panini maker. It's probably most of it is collecting dust anyway. So why are you even bothering? They say people purchase appliances like it's going out of style. And you got that air fryer, and you know, why don't you invest in getting the air fryer that's a toaster and a grill and all that kind of stuff. That way you save on space and clutter. All right. The storage containers. This is me. Did I tell you this is me? I mean, this is me. I've got tons of containers, but I hate containers with no lids. Oh my gosh, you're going to kill me. Get rid of the lids. Lose the lids. I never understand how the lids go east and the containers go west. I don't understand. That's like having laundry in one sock. Never makes sense to me. But they say get that organized space together by getting rid of all of the appliances. Then you don't need storage containers the way you do. They say this is definitely me. They say get rid of the takeout containers and all of that kind of glass storage bins. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that. And they say just throw it out. Throw it out. And you know what's funny? Because I really, over the past couple of weeks, it has been an eyesore. So I think I'm following their advice. Excessive decor. Get rid of it out of the kitchen. They say an overly decorated kitchen is just that. Overly decorated. Okay? That you got your theme going on and all you see is stuff everywhere representing your theme. They say the kitchen is already busy enough, so you really don't need to clutter up your kitchen more than than all of the different elements with this decor and that decor and this on the wall and that on the wall and this is on the counter. It was like, get rid of all that stuff. All right. They say get rid of the hanging pot racks. Who still does that? That's like 70s and 80s. I don't know if anybody still do that I know. I don't know. But they say pot racks hanging over the island is crazy at this point. They say that's that French countryside look that has not been in existence in decades, not just years, decades. They say get something that has a closet look, that you could just store. Get cabinets. It helps it look a lot more organized. Decorative wine racks. Wow. People still do that too? Yeah, they said, you know what? People normally put the wine racks above the cabinet, and they're saying that it ends up collecting dust more than you actually use it. They say, get a wine fridge. Okay. And now you can put that like underneath your island or in the bottom of the cabinet, underneath the cabinet, like if you build above, so you just have to count it, almost like a dishwasher type of thing. Yeah. Okay. They say get rid of the LED light strips. Outdated. Yeah, get rid of it. They say if you want to do something nice, get like the strip of white lights, and that brings a better decor to your kitchen. It makes it look cool, not the colored lights. They say get rid of that. Worn out cookware. Yeah, I don't like that either. It just makes your kitchen look But they say, listen, pots don't cost a whole lot these days. Get yourself a nice set and call it a day. All righty? So those are the things they say get rid of out the kitchen. And you'll probably think of some other things that you can get rid of out of the kitchen as well. I was trying to think of something that I wanted to get rid of. I couldn't think of anything. I think they kind of talked it through for me. Just the old pots and what else? What else did they say that I would definitely get rid of? No, I never had hanging pot racks. That looks so dumb to me. I hated that. I know that was a thing. Oh, the storage bins, the storage containers. Yeah, I definitely got to get rid of that. That's going to be my goal in the next 2 weeks, to get rid of all of the excess storage containers. All righty. Let's see what's going on here. Tamika says, I'm married to Inspector Gadget. There is stuff everywhere. Yeah, she always sends me pictures of the stuff that Brother Al buys. And yeah, he has really, he done picked up on some things. Some things that like stirs the pot, the contents in the pot. Oh, that was hilarious. That was the funniest thing that I have ever seen. So I don't know if you're married to somebody like Brother Al, but that might be something that might be driving you crazy. Well, we've got a check-in from, who's this, Eagle, and she says, those who don't believe in him will suffer eternal life. And she's talking about God. All righty. Oh, you know what? Pastor KO says that. He says, get rid of the wooden spoon and fork off the wall. People are, I saw somebody's house and I was like, wow, you still have that up there? Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, get rid of that. All right, let's talk about some news today. Let's talk about some news. Now, this one is a little controversial. I wanted to get your opinion on this one. And it's really weird. It's really weird. It happened out in Japan, where there's a 23-year-old woman who lost her life to someone, a man, who fell from a building onto her. Yeah. So Miss Inaba, she was 23 years old. She passed away at the hospital after 29-year-old Shinsei landed on her as she walked along, just walking on the sidewalk with a friend of hers. The friend called the EMS. She died from hemorrhage shock. Yeah. And they said it happened about 1 o'clock in the morning. And they're not sure why he fell from the building. So they don't know whether he just fell or if he jumped. And it was from 12 stories high. So here's the thing. They are looking to potentially charge him for her death. Now, I wanted to know how y'all felt about that. I wanted to know if y'all felt that he should be charged with her death. If he was committing suicide, if he tried to commit suicide, but he ended up landing on her and she died, should they charge him with her death? If he just slipped and fell out of a window somehow, or from a balcony or something, should they charge him with her death? So, I want to know what you think, and I'll let you know what I think. Oh, going back a little bit, Tamika says she just broke the fork a few weeks ago, and it was glass. So she had that up on the wall, Pastor KL. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. I know our Due Time crew will be talking about this thing. So let me know. So here's another story where I want to know what you think. I don't know. I want to know what you think, Monday. Because this one here kind of hit me a little weird. I don't know if I want to go with this or not. I'll let you know after you let me know. So there's a family of 93-year-old woman, grandma and great grandma. So grandma had 11 children and 55 great, grand, and grandchildren. Yes, she had a huge family. Now, grandma passed away, and they took her to J. Foster Phillips Funeral Home here in Jamaica, Queens. So, excuse me, my mouth is so dry. So they made arrangements for grandma to be, serviced, and they told everybody that grandma was they were gonna have the funeral for grandma and mom and grandma on whatever specific day. But they ended up not being able to do it because somehow or another she was mistakenly cremated. And the family is livid. Now, the family is livid for two reasons. Now, one, they're livid because that was not their request. Their request was not to have mom, grandma, great grandma cremated. They wanted her in a casket, dressed up, so they could, pay their final respects. And they can't do that because she's cremated. Well, the other problem is they say that she's going to be very unhappy because it was her desire to be buried in Guyana next to her grandma. Her grandma. And they cannot fulfill her wish because she's not buriable, if you will. So they've gotten attorneys and everybody, they've gotten involved, and they want the whole entire funeral home shut down. Now, let me know if you think that's just a bit extreme. Is it? Listen, they made a mistake, and unfortunately, grandma, mom was cremated. Or you know what? Bad mistake. Shut them down. Yeah, they are literally looking to shut this down. Now, J. Foster Phillips, I've been there a few times over the years. They say that they're deeply sorry about the error. They've been in business for 97 years themselves. And it's a family business, and it's third generation now. So they're really apologizing, and they're saying, you know what? We can't explain what happened, but the cremation took place. We cannot bring mom back, but I guess maybe they'll pay them some money or whatever. I don't know. But let me know. Do you think they should shut them completely down, or offer some mercy because mistakes happen? So help me with that one. All righty. What else are we talking about this morning? So we have a teen, 18 years old, Tyler Smith. Now, Tyler Smith is living in Kentucky until he went to a house party where they say they were playing Russian roulette. And he, in turn, played the game, and the gun went off, and he is now dead. Now, some twists and turns to this story, because they're saying that the police found a gun and a shell casing, but it did not belong to Tyler. Now, supposedly, at this party, they claim he was the only one of color. They say that he was also in the company of two biracial people, but everybody else was on the other side of the fence, and they don't know. Uncle is saying we don't know because it's not like him to play that kind of an adult game. Yeah, we know he was 18, but we don't believe he accidentally shot himself. We think something happened at this house party. So this happened at about 2:36 in the morning on July 4th. And they're trying to really get some heads or tails as to what happened. And you know what? We keep talking about, keeping, the company you keep. And they said that he did. Now, witnesses say that he did play with the gun, but claimed there were no bullets in the gun and fired it in the air. Now, it doesn't say whether the gun went off when he fired it in the air. So I don't know whether this story is even making sense. Because if you got half the people saying he was playing Russian roulette, and you got the other half saying he was not playing Russian, but he did play with the gun itself, fired it in the air, you don't know who to believe. You don't know who to believe. But I will say, please, talk to your children. Talk to your grandchildren. Talk to your great-grand. This is stuff you didn't get to this play with. Please, hang around people who are making better decisions than this. Because clearly you weren't hanging around the right people at all. Either way, when you had a gun in your hand, find it in the air, find it to your forehead, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Why are we playing these games? I don't know. All righty. We'll see if I even come back to that story. Where's my girl, Lady Tamika?
Monday morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Good. Glad to have you on with me this morning. We got some stuff to talk about, girl. First, let's talk about Brother Al and his gadgets. If you had your way, what would you get rid of first?
He bought a potato peeler, and it's supposed to, take the potato and peel the potato the right way. So it looks like a razor. So you push the button and it spins around, and the razor is supposed to take off the skin from the potato. Well, it only works if the potato is completely, perfectly round. How many people? So the last time that we used it, it took off the top part and the bottom part. So it looked like the potato had on a bikini.
No, you wrong for that one.
So I was just like, it only took off this part and the bottom part. So there's like this part in the middle. I'm like, okay, so does the potato have on a bathing suit? What in the, so. And I told him when he bought it, I said, hon, this is not going to work. He's like, I'll get it. I'll show you. And when he finished peeling the potato, and I'm looking at the potato going, so we supposed to eat half the skin and take off the top and the bottom. We just supposed to eat stuff up. So he looked at me. So whenever anything comes in the house and I know it's Temu, I just roll my eyes, suck my teeth, and go into another room.
Oh, no.
I am literally married to Inspector Gadget. He's like, babe, look at this. I'm going to get it from Temu. Ooh, this is a good idea. And I'm going. Now, I will say, to his credit, there are some things that he has purchased that I absolutely love. But that potato peeler and then the spoon, the stirrer. So the stirrer looks like a hand. It's battery operated, and you put it in a pot, and it's supposed to go all the way around the pot. Sometimes, depending on what the consistency of is in the pot, it may be a lump or something. So it goes over here and it gets stuck, and it's not doing anything but doing this. So it hasn't really. So if we could just get rid of some of those things, a few of them, just maybe half, I'll be really happy. Now, a lot of things are piled up in boxes and things like that. And then when we need it, we take it, unpack it, put it back in the box, until next time. But oh, help. I'm married to Inspector Gadget. Please help me. Somebody.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. Every time you tell me about a new gadget, I get a kick out of it. It is so hilarious. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's talk about some things like, I don't know, like who's really wrong and who's like, which way do we go with these stories this morning? Because a couple of stories is like, Okay, so you have this 23-year-old woman who's walking at 1 something in the morning with her friend, minding her business. And all of a sudden, a person, 29-year-old Shinsei, lands on her and subsequently kills her. Now he falls from 12 stories high. They don't know whether he jumped to try to commit suicide or whether he just fell, quote unquote, out the window. But either way, they're considering charging him. So the question is, would it be fair to charge him if he was in distress and tried to commit suicide? Do you want to now charge him and send him to jail? Or if it was a mistake and he fell out the window and he landed on her and killed her, do you want to charge him? I don't know, Lady Tamika. What say you?
It's a rough one, but my thing is, the end result is because you fell from 12 stories. You think about, like when we go to events, like something like the Empire State Building and areas where you can see outside. First thing they tell you is never throw anything, even if it's just something like you got a dime, because what ends up happening is as it's going further down, it's extra weight. You're talking about a whole body that fell out of a window, whether it was on his own or whether he tripped and fall. But I'm like, 12 stories. What are you doing out there, sir? Why? And when you're in a setting like that, how do you slip and fall? I just don't understand. The only way that I could view that is that you had to have been, your intention must have been to end your life. And instead of ending your life, you ended somebody else's. I feel either way, he should be charged, because if he hadn't fallen out the window, this woman would still be alive.
Okay. Let's see what Pastor KL says. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? I'm well. How about you?
I'm well, thank you. So tell me, what do you think? Now, they don't know whether Shinsei jumped out the window to try to commit suicide or he fell. And either way, they're trying to charge him with this 23-year-old woman's death. So do you want to put someone in further distress who may have been trying to commit suicide, or do you let him go? Or either way, charge him. What say you?
Well, I think you have to find out the circumstance first. I mean, because either his situation went from bad to worse, because you said he tried to commit suicide and it didn't work and he killed somebody, so now you're going to jail. Or, look at the other side. Did somebody push him? Was somebody trying to kill him? Because if somebody pushed him out the window, then that person should be getting not only the attempted murder, but the murder.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it determines on what the real situation was.
Okay, because they're doing some deep digging here. They are really trying to figure out what happened to him that he went from 12 stories to the ground.
Well, what is he saying?
Well, he hasn't said anything yet.
Oh.
So that that was my question. I'm like, well, that's a simple thing. Ask him. You ain't gotta tell him what you plan to do, but ask him, because he'll tell you, oh, I was so sad, I was trying to commit, and however he would say it. I feel like I'm kind of tossed on this one, in the middle, in a sense, but I gotta lean on one side.
That sound like more like Chinese connection. Somebody trying to kill you. Chinese folks don't commit suicide. They just don't.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out if Shinsei going to jail or not. I would say that if he tried to commit suicide and he caused someone else's death, I'm sorry, it's gonna get worse for you, Shinsei. But yeah, I think you need to be held accountable for somebody else's death. And he wished he had died in the beginning, which is not something that you want to add to his woes, but I'm thinking your woes led to someone else's death innocently. Yeah, you're gonna have to be charged with something. Now, I don't know about this theory of somebody pushing you out the window though, but it could be.
Off the balcony.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where you're sitting on the edge, maybe playing around, and you lost your balance or something. I don't know.
Not at 29. Not at 29.
You know what? But that's the way I feel about somebody push you. It's like, really? Were you up there arguing with somebody and they just got that man, they tried to push you over and you fell?
I mean, listen. So the Chinese connection is almost like the mob. They got, if you was in a really real bad situation, I could see Sensei throwing Ching Li off the balcony.
But wait, you really going with the Chinese connection thing?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were being funny.
It's either the suicide or ain't nobody 29 years old, slipped out the window.
Maybe he was drinking.
You too big. What kind of window is it?
You drinking and whoops.
I don't know, baby. I can't see that.
Me either. Really?
I can't even see you getting out the window. Slipping, you slip, you're gonna hit your head on the windowsill or something. I mean, how you wave your body out the window?
But look at the balcony thing up there.
I can see somebody throwing you off the balcony. I can see somebody throwing you off the balcony in New York.
Wait, Shanti said there's a big red from the 5 Heartbeats Chinese version. So that's Pastor KL's theory. They're hanging him off the side of the balcony. Maybe. But I tell you, he better hope that somebody was dangling him, because he would be going to jail for me. That's horrible that some innocent person had to lose her life.
It is.
All righty.
Look at that balcony. It doesn't even look like something that you can, what did you do? Put your foot way up high? And
right.
That's not a spot where it's not like the I don't know what you call it. The wall is low. It's high. It's meant that way for you not to, and you didn't fall by yourself, because maybe, I would have thought if you fell with someone else or a female or whatever your persuasion was, you would have an intercourse, but you fell by yourself. So where's the window? Because if you fall out the window, aren't you falling onto the balcony?
Right. Based on
that makes no sense.
Yeah. So that's why they said he fell from the building. They didn't say he fell from the window. They say he fell from the building 12 stories high.
Somebody threw him off.
Well, unless he tell, and they're probably gonna make him tell who.
Right.
So you may end up in a pickle, my brother, because if you don't want to tell who was trying to throw you off, They may be charging you. So, I don't know. All right, y'all tell me this one. So out in Queens, out in Jamaica, Queens, at J. Foster Phillips Funeral Home, they send their 93-year-old mom, grandma, great-grandma. So they make all these arrangements. They leave grandma there, and they end up telling everybody about the services. And when they finish telling everybody about the services and they check back with the funeral home mistakenly cremates her. Now they're really upset because the way they want to put her away, they can't. Can't put in a coffin, can't dress her up, can't, do all that good stuff. And then they say, as insult to injury, that mom, grandma, great-grandma wants to go back to Guyana and be buried next to her grandma. And she can't now. And she's going to be really upset at this. So they are doing an investigation, trying to figure out how did this woman get mistakenly cremated, and they want to shut the entire funeral home down. How should they handle this, Tamika?
Somebody gonna owe somebody a whole lot of money, because I'm looking at, her wishes were to be sent back to Guyana. The family also state the same thing, that they wanted to send her to Guyana. Now you have nothing except for this ash in this jar, depending on if you bought the jar, and it's sad, but my thing is she's already gone. What are you going to do? You got ashes. If you want to take the ashes to Guyana and put it over her mother's gravesite, that's all you can do. I mean, they're talking about she's going to be mad. She's not feeling anything right now. She's gone, and so I think, not to lighten the emotions of the family, but there's nothing that you can do for the body at this point, so maybe, just taking, getting some resources. I mean, you shutting the vicinity, the facility down, that's hard, and this business has been there for 93 years. And I'm like, 97. Wow. Almost 100 years. And I'm like, okay, so somebody in the family messed up. They put the toe tag on the wrong person. And now there's a big, to do about it. And I'm so sorry for the family, but what are you going to do for grandma now?
Okay. Pastor KL.
Yeah, I'm glad Tamika said what she said, because I was following what you were saying about how grandma now is going to be upset because she can't lay down where she wanted to lay. Grandma dead. She gone. How could you be upset? Now, I can understand you being upset, you being frustrated, because you wanted to foresee grandma's wishes. But grandma ain't upset. I think that with the lawsuit that this funeral home is getting, you won't have to you won't have to have them closed down. Once they hear what's going on and all the money that they got to pay out, their business is going to be null and void. They're going to have to close down. You don't have to do it. But you have a good lawsuit. Now, my other question is, besides the lawsuit, is I had them giving you a deposit. So where's the contract that said all these things that I wanted her cremated?
Right.
How did you come up with that finale?
Right.
So, they have, you don't just go in there. Let me tell you something about these funeral places. They want their money. They don't do it and say, okay, after we put it down, you paid in. No, they want a piece of their money in the beginning. So there has to be a contract. There has to be stuff written down, how you're going to do it, how you're going to proceed, who's doing the the setting of the funeral. It's a lot of stuff that you have to discuss. who's commencing the body? First of all, when you have that question right there, if someone's commencing the body, we're not cremating nobody. We're putting somebody in the ground.
Right.
So there's too many details, for you to slip up like that.
Yeah, and that's what they're bringing up. Like we filled out paperwork. Nowhere on this paperwork said that we were supposed to be cremating anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, you got checkbox, cremation,
right.
Checkbox, however you term it, committing the body, like you said, is a big part of it that they go through, because now they're like, okay, well, who's going to do the funeral service?
Right.
Things like that. So like you said, these things come up. And somebody goofed badly. Shanti says, how do you make a mistake and cremate her? Who messed up that paperwork? Shanti says, grandma knew where she was being buried. ? So kind of like what you and Tamika said. Ainsley says, good morning, Ains. Thank you so much for joining us. Ainsley says, funeral malpractice. There's a law man right there. Funeral malpractice.
But then the other question is I purchased a coffin. So you took my money for a coffin that I'm not going to use, and you cremated it. There's too many things. Why would there be a coffin checked off? For what? For ashes? For urn? Make it make sense.
Yeah. Somebody was really drinking on the job or something, because there were too many, like you said, too many areas where it would have reversed. But once you sent that body off, that was it. Ainsley said the funeral home insurance is probably going to be paying the family some money. Yeah.
Lots of money.
Yeah. And I agree with you too. And Shantice, please stop saying grandma's upset. Like you said, Pascal, you're upset. Grandma ain't upset. If grandma don't make it back to her grandma ain't gonna know nothing. So, she's not gonna know that she didn't make it to her grandmother. So
when you cremate a person, you actually put them in a coffin, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the ashes. So they scrape out of the coffin whatever portion of the coffin is left, the body. So you're actually getting part of the coffin and the body.
Not the regular coffin that you sit in front of people.
Right.
Not the pretty one. Not the pretty. I ain't burning a pretty coffin.
Right. They don't buy that coffin and then send it into the chamber. So you're right. It is some box, right?
They got a carpenter in the back building a box. The carpenter's in the back. That's all that is.
And everything gets incinerated. And, they ain't incinerating that pretty one you done picked out.
You know what's funny? Let me tell you what's funny. When I got here in the South, I'm not sure if you guys know, but mostly every church in the South has their own burial in the backyard.
Oh wow!
That's the most. I lost my mind when I saw that. And if one of the members die, the deacons. Now listen to me now. The brother Al's are going on the back on Saturday digging the hole.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I would have to leave church. I'd be a backslider for the rest of my life. To know that Gertrude is right here and I gotta dig a hole for Gertrude? No. Suppose I didn't like Gertrude.
So what does that mean? You don't dig the hole for Gertrude because you didn't like her?
It might not be deep enough.
Oh my God.
It might be on a flood watch. We on a tornado watch down here.
You know what? We just gonna pray for you. Wait, Tamika, is that gonna be before or after he charged to sing the song? for tears. To get them extra tears. Oh my goodness.
We're giving you tears now.
Shanti says the coffin was for the family once they found out they cremated. Oh my, yes, they don't have to bury somebody in the family, Shanti's. That's funny. All righty. And let's see what else we're talking about here. All right. I didn't want to talk about the other story with the teen. We got to talk to our kids about playing with guns and all of that kind of good stuff. All righty. So let's talk about our main topic today. And, they're talking about men who are prideful, I think. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Men who have no pride. They're down in the gutter with their pride. And they're saying when you have zero pride as a man, that you turn manipulative. Would you agree with that, Pastor KL?
When you have no pride?
Yeah, they say men who lack any level of pride.
Yes, you can be manipulated. You can definitely be manipulated. Because you don't stand for nothing.
No, he's manipulative.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I definitely don't believe that. You don't know how. You don't know how to manipulate. No, you're not that bright.
Well, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Men what?
Men that don't have too much pride, he don't care about too much, and he ain't that bright. So,
well, here's the theory that they're coming up with, and you let me know whether you agree or disagree. They're saying that if you don't have pride, then you utilize that to make women feel sorry for you. And that's how you garner their sympathy, because that would make them feel better. That gives them some level of control in these, during the time, and help to boost. They don't end up being prideful at the end, but they definitely use that to get that power. Do you agree?
I don't agree, because I don't see how the man is going to get the power, because the woman who feels that she's in control because you're a dum-dum, you know what I mean? She has the power. She may feel sorry for you in certain instances, but she still has the power, because she feels you can't do nothing without her. This is going back to what I said before. When you feel like a person needs you, you think you got power, as opposed to wanting you.
Okay. Well, for some reason, these experts feel that men who don't have any pride, they want women to feel sorry for them, and they'll become manipulative. So I don't know. But they have some phrases that men will use during this time. And I want to throw these out to you too and see what you say. All right. So he'll say, I don't know what I'd do without you. And the theory is that he'll say that because he doesn't want her to leave. And he tries to make her feel wanted, but he really doesn't want her for the right reason. He wants her so that he feels better. Because now I have a woman on my arm. I don't know. Tamika, what's your thought?
So you're not having a relationship because there's so much love and there's so much, everything is going well. You basically are almost as if you're playing chess, with this woman. And I don't know what I'd do without you. We as women, we love to hear acknowledgement. We love to hear praise, and those. Forgive me, there's a lot going on in my neighborhood, so that beeping is me outside. you're manipulative in that I don't know what I'd do without you. I can't function, without you. And because that's something that she loves to hear, she'll keep coming towards you and not realizing that in actuality, you're just manipulating her. It'll take her a moment, but then you go through that same cycle because you think that works for you. But she doesn't want to be there with you. She's there because of what you're plugging her ear with. And once her brain, ticks and realizes what's going on and stop just, which is why we need to do more than just, hear what you're saying. We need to see it all, and that's the whole reason. But you're manipulating her.
Okay. Pastor KL.
That is one of the oldest lines in the world. Whether you have pride, whether you don't have pride, when you see that she is sick and tired of being sick and tired and have one foot out the door, now it's, oh my God, I don't know what I would do without you. Don't leave me. I couldn't manage without you. Listen, I ran that line when I was 16. I ran that line when I was 21. I ran that line when I was 30. I mean, that's a gift that keeps on giving, baby. That's one of them lines that, listen, if you watched the movie and you knew the script line for line, you would know this line. I don't know what I would do without you. Don't leave me. Don't go.
Wow. Okay. Shati says, yep. He knows what he'll do without her. He'll get another girl. I don't like to hear that. Statements like that sound a little scary. Okay. One of the other phrases that they'll use, they say, no one has ever loved me like you do. And that's when he has no pride. He's trying to keep her around. Now he says, he claims that she's the best thing that ever happened to him. All right, Tamika.
And he'll reuse it every time she's getting ready to walk out the door. Every time that there's a big argument, she's fed up, and every time that she's frustrated and annoyed with whatever foolishness she'll come up with. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do. Yeah, what happens to me? Woe is me, boo-hoo, and that kind of is the pullback, trying to pull her back into your realm to manipulate her all over again. She's got to wake up. She's got to stop listening to, well, nobody ever loved me the way you do. What's my life going to be like without you? Oh my God. Girl, please, wise up, because you'll just end up in a cycle that never ends.
All righty. What about you, Pastor KL?
I'm just trying to figure out how does this connect with pride. This does not connect with, this is just game. This is just game. I'm sick and I'm dying. Every man that's sick, he dying. And now all of a sudden you make me some soup. You don't want to make me no soup because now you're mad at me, but you make me soup anyway. Oh, baby, I don't know what I would have done without you. This is the best soup I ever had. It's chicken noodle soup out the can, but this is the best soup I ever had. Yeah, I taste the love in the soup. You don't taste no love. You taste the top. This is just, I don't understand how this is full of pride. This is just what men do when they're sorry.
All right. Shati says, and he shows why no one has ever loved him the way you did. Absolutely. When you start talking like that, I don't know what to. Now here, let me give the premise before I give the phrase. So they're saying that this is the perfect phrase when a man wants to hand his responsibilities over to someone else. It's like he's telling the woman that she can handle more because she's stronger than he is. And all this does is increase her mental and emotional load while making his own load feel lighter. Now, I'm a little lost here too. But I could never be as strong as you. I don't see the connection here either. The other two I could kind of, this one I can't. But since it's here, let's talk about it. I can never be as strong as you. When you hear a man say something like that to you, Tamika, what does that do?
That's probably one of the dumbest things that he's ever said to me, unfortunately. I can never be as strong. You're so strong. And I'm looking at you like the average woman wants a man that's strong, that has, and you say something like that, I'm packing my bags. I don't see how that falls along with where we are. I don't know where they got that. And I'm like, okay, sometimes every now and then you have to look at these people that write these things and you go, who are you?
Yeah, this is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them. Pastor KL, when you say this to a woman, forget about the pride thing because it's not connecting. But when you say that to a woman, have you ever used that line? I could never be as strong as you, and why?
No, never. But it's a good ego pusher because you say, hey, baby, you deal with you juggle the kids, you go to work, you know what I mean? You juggle the job, you come home, you cook, you clean, you deal with the children, you wash. Oh man, I could never be a strong. I don't know how you do it. You are great. I could never do all that. It's an ego pusher. That's all it is. And as long as she thinks that he appreciates all that, she goes the extra mile, he does nothing.
Okay, right.
Since you put it that way, now I can see it, but it took me a second.
No, but that's what it pretty much is saying. I'm not as strong as you, so you go ahead and do this thing here while I sit back and I watch because you're better at this than I am. Yeah, so very manipulative thing right there. I'm such a horrible person. All right, Tamika, what you got?
I'm such a horrible person. That's another way to load off whatever it is that you're doing on her. Because your thought processes are not right. The way that you do things, the way that she's always so nice and calm when she says stuff, and when you say stuff, you go off and I'm such a horrible person. Why don't you handle such and such? You've got an issue that you need to resolve. And instead of you being man enough to resolve it, you load that on her because, she handles stuff. Yeah, I'm such a horrible person. If you could do this for me, then that would make things so much easier. And she goes for the gun because you complimented her.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm such a horrible person. Pastor Cal, have you ever used this line?
No. I don't. As many examples as I have, I don't even have an example for this. Because me telling a black woman I'm such a horrible person, to me that's an invite for you to leave me. Why would you want to stay with a horrible person? That's an invite. So why would I put that on you? All the other stuff I can manipulate. I can't tell you how bad I am. No.
I can see this being very manipulative because now when you've done something wrong, right? You now throw up on, you know what? I'm such a bad person. Mm-hmm. I'm a horrible person. That's the reason why I did this. So she can now say, what, Tamika?
Oh, it's okay. It's all right.
That's a light skin scenario. That ain't no black scenario. That's a light skin scenario. No, ain't no black person gonna say all that and gonna tell somebody it's okay. No, I'm sorry. Shaquita ain't saying that. Now, Becky might give you another chance. It's okay. We'll work through it. But listen, Shaquita ain't doing it. You that bad, you need to get out.
I mean, listen, I don't disagree with you, but we're just laying out the scenario because that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's banking on. He's banking on now turning the tables and making you feel sorry for him. And that's what Tamika just described in the it's okay,
Yeah, but listen, even Tamika said it in her Becky voice. She ain't saying it in her Tamika voice. She said it's okay. That's the Becky voice. She knew who she was talking about.
I agree. It's women, you know. You're not making the distinction between the Shaquita and the Becky. But at the end of the day, it's women, and you know, surprising. You know, it's like why would they even fall for that? You know what I'm saying? I can't even imagine why. I'm not saying they don't. I just can't imagine why they would even go there. It's like, okay, so if he say he a bad person, well, clearly he did something that is showing he's bad. So what do you do? So now you're gonna give him an out by saying it's okay, you know, this is not the normal you know, you've been through this, and now she's offering scenarios to help him, to support why he's behaving the way he is. I mean, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
And
all
she's
right,
mopping it up.
What'd you say?
I said, and she's mopping it up.
Yeah. And now she's eating all of this. And it's like, okay, well, hello. Are you listening to yourself? Because I'm not, the first time I have to say, he's right. The first time I have to say you're a horrible person, I'm out. I'm saying that going through the door. You
Absolutely.
Know what? Right. You're a horrible person. You stay right here. I'm out. Thank you, but no thank you. And if you
that sounds like a piece of a horror movie, you know, I'm such a horrible person. What have you done? You know, because that's my first question. What have you done? You know, and you've seen, look at movies. He gets to tell her everything, and then she starts trying to find ways to fix the mess that you created. That's not my job.
Right?
Nope.
Right? It's really not something that I want to get myself into. Because if you're admitting that you're a horrible person, then I need to pay attention. So even if I didn't catch it before you told it to me, bye. Right. I'm like, see you later. So I don't know. I only did that because I love you. Oh, this is really, for me, this is touchy. Go ahead, Tamika.
You know, I only hit you because I love you.
There you go.
That's usually where that goes. You know, my emotions are so, you know, you get me all in an uproar and you know, I really didn't want to, but because I love you, I just couldn't help it. You know, and like, what do you respond when something like that, when it goes to that degree? I only did such and such because I love you. That's the biggest lie ever. And unfortunately, you know, that is something that we've heard across the board. But some women still fall for that same thing. The trap door is right there. And the sad part about it is he's going to say it again. If you fell for it the first time, you're going to fall again.
Yep. Shanti said that's what all psychos say. Yeah, that's a trigger for me. You know, when you do something, I only did that, and it's not the nice thing. I only did that because I love you. Nah, we good. Thank you. We good. I'll pass. You know, because that is something that is very manipulative, and they try to turn the tables and put it on you. And it's like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna play this game. So my prayer is that women really don't fall for this, because like you said, that's gonna be the name of the game. I only did this because I love you. Every little thing he does to hurt you emotionally, to hurt you physically, to hurt you mentally is going to be only because he loved you, you know? And it would be different if you were to do things differently. So nah, I'll pass. I will pass. Let's see. You're the only good thing I have. What goes on in your head when a man says that to you?
If I'm the only good thing that you have, I'm out. Find you something else. Find you some other good thing, because that is definitely a puller. You know, you're the only good thing that I've got. You just keep pulling on her, you know, because you're the best thing, or you're the best thing I've ever had. You know, those are, you know, kissing cousins. to keep her coming back to you for every, oh, you're the only good thing that I've got. Well, you know what? You might want to find you something else good because I'm out.
Yeah. All right, Pastor KL. We got, you're the only good thing I have. Have you said that to her before?
No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, I mean, and for a woman, if you're the only good thing, only person in his corner, these are signs that you gotta go away. You don't know nobody else. You ain't got a good friend. You ain't got a good sister. Your mama ain't good to you. Nobody's good to you but you, the stranger. Because technically, you're a stranger. You came into my life, even as my girlfriend, you're a stranger. And out of all my years of living, you have been the only good thing in my life. No, that's a sign that it's time to go.
Yeah, when you hear you're the only good thing I have, that to me says you done messed up everything. That's what that says to me. It doesn't only say or question why you don't have anybody, but it's like, what earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes have you caused before you met me that you have no one else to fall back on? Because at this point in our life, okay, so when you're at this point in your life where somebody's actually saying this to you, you're talking about adulthood. So in all your adult life, you done messed up every relationship where you don't have anybody else to, not a teacher, not a co-worker, not a boss. I'm the only good thing that you have. That means I got to keep my eye open because I don't trust you. I don't trust you that you won't do whatever you did to them, you won't do to me. That's what comes to my mind. Because I'm sorry, if I'm even 30 and you say something like that, 30 years, you ain't, some ain't right. Some ain't right at all. All right. Don't give up on me like everyone else. Tamika.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly that. Oh gosh, I'm looking at that. Don't give up, man. Like everybody, you on your knees. She has had it. You have done whatever, said whatever. I'm finished. Don't leave me. You're just like everybody else. Please don't leave. I'm stepping right over you on my way out the door. I hope I don't hurt you, but move so I can get out this door. And the sad part about it is, it goes to show you how some people are manipulated. And I'll give you for instance, we as women talk about movies where there's that one solitary tear that the man gives. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like, oh, that touched my heart. And unfortunately, they play with that. I know a guy that used to do that. One solitary tear. And that's unfortunately how he would get it. When she has gotten to her highest pisticity, you use that. And you keep using that same thing. Because it worked for you last time. So now it works for you now.
Pastor KL, don't give up on me like everyone else.
Now, let me tell you something. One of the good things about being a performer, actor, or singer, I can cry now if you want me to. Right now.
That's okay. You're good.
In the midst of this conversation, I can have tears coming out of my eyes. So that works.
Do it. I want to see it.
So
I want to see it.
I'm telling you, it works for a woman to see a man cry. It works. This is the only part that I'm seeing that is total manipulation. But I will say to the women, if he says don't leave me like everyone else, you need to ask yourself, what is the common denominator? The common denominator is him. Everybody's leaving him. Mm-hmm. So what has he done wrong to it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Pastor Steph. What's going on with him all these years that everybody's deciding to leave him? The problem is not you. And that's what happens with the women. The women feel guilty. Or maybe it's me. Maybe I need to change this. Maybe I need to know the common denominator is him.
Yep. Because that's what I thought. Don't give up on me like everyone else. There's that other trigger. for me. Why everybody else gave up on you? What did you do that made everybody so mad or so just disgusted with you that they just gave up? You know what it takes for you to for somebody to give up on you? When people finally get to the point where they give up on you, it's really, you did some things. Or you've been doing it for a long time and they are tired. No more. So it makes me wonder, like, what hurricanes that you didn't cause? Why are people giving up on you? Everyone else? I think some of these terminologies, these phrases, you didn't toll on yourself. So you didn't lost a whole lot of what do you call it? Sympathy from me. Because you just told me everybody else you didn't met and cared about you, you didn't you didn't turn them off. All righty. We're coming down. This is what I really want. I'm too broken to love. Oh, Tamika.
What in the world? Like, anytime you... So why are we even in this thing here? You're telling me you too broken to love. We're in a relationship and you look me in the face and say, I'm too broken to love. You have got to be out of your mind. If that's not a red flag, please. Red. Run, girl, run. Run as far as you possibly can. And don't stop running till you get someplace entirely different. I'm too broken to love. Then how is it that we can even get together at all? Because you don't have anything to give me because you're too broken. But unfortunately, somebody will fall for that trap.
Yep. Pastor KL.
You know when that line comes up? That line comes up when you caught me cheating.
Yeah.
The line comes up when you caught me talking to someone else, or you see something that I shouldn't be doing, and now you're confronting me, because now you're in tears, and now you're hurt, and now you have to say, baby, I'm just too broken to love. I don't know how to do it. I need you to help me out of this. I want to stop, but I don't know how. That's when that line comes up. When I'm already caught, my back is up against the wall, and you have no other choice but to leave me. I gotta be able to give you an excuse to why I'm an idiot.
It's so true. It is so true. You didn't just got caught doing something, and now you're trying to play this sympathy card that you're deficient. And I need you to stick around so that you can help me, builds me up. You can help. My mama never taught me how to love because she left me. My father, I didn't know my dad, so I didn't know my grandma. She died, that's all I had. And when I was 11, she passed away. So, no, this is when you get, I'm too broken to love. So that you can now have an excuse. So I don't leave you when you have jacked up everything. And I hope to God this stuff ain't working. I really hope this is not working. Shanti said, when we fall for that, someone needs to break our neck. Yeah, it's just too much. It's way too much.
Let me say this, Pastor Steph, because you know what? As we speak on it line by line, precept by precept, it sounds really stupid. It sounds like, how could they fall for this? But when you're in it, it's different from being in it and being outside listening to the line. When you listen to the line, oh my God, that sounds corny. But when you're in it emotionally and you're in love and all this stuff, and you have put in all your time with this person, it's almost like you don't want to give up. You want to really believe that there's going to be better. And unfortunately, it's not going to be better. But you put too much time into it, and you don't want to give in on it.
It's true. It's true. At the worst, You want to make me mad? Tell me how long you've invested in this thing.
You see the tears? You see the tears? You don't see
You
the
know,
tears?
oh my goodness. I'm so glad I'm just not here anymore, that I even have to hear this nonsense. It's sad, but that's where the men are going, ladies. You know, pay attention, because you don't want to fall for the okie doke at all. My due time crew, thank you so very much for your contribution into today's show, and we pray you have a blessed day.
You as well.
Thank you. Pastor K, wipe them tears. All right, it's the top of the hour on a Monday morning, and we know what happens at that time. Let's say good morning, because we've got the switch with Shantice. Good morning, Shantice.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Amen.
What you got for us today?
Today we have the switch with Shantice, where we make the switch from the streets to our godly seat. And our switch tip 256 today is actually don't fall for the okie doke. So it was funny when Pastor Steph actually used that verbiage right before she closed out with the due time crew. So of course, we have to pull up the definitions, because y'all know how God has us with definitions. If we can't meditate on the meaning of these words and phrases, then everything just doesn't sit as right with us, right? So falling for the okie doke means I refuse to be fooled. I refuse to be scammed. I refuse to be manipulated by someone's lies, tricks, and or smooth talk. And of course, as soon as I was reading this definition, who came to mind? None other than the devil, because he is the master deceiver, the master manipulator. He is the father of lies. Those are Jesus's words verbatim. So it's not something that I woke up with thinking. It's not something that just manifested in a human being's mind. This is who he is from the moment he got himself kicked out of heaven, because he was able to manipulate a third of the angels to follow him and go against God. He was able to manipulate and lie to Eve, and though he didn't come out and blatantly tell a lie, but anytime you smooth talk, and another verse just came to mind. I'm gonna have to paraphrase it because I don't remember exactly where it is, but there's a verse that says, don't smooth talk your way to the top. Just pretty much say what needs to be said. And that kind of coincides, it coincides with the verse where Jesus says, God says, don't swear, let your yes be yes and let your no be no, because anything more than that is from the evil one. And God actually had me study again the story of, and Pastor Steph, you may have to give me the names when you come back on, but the story, wasn't it Jezebel's daughter who asked her mother, what should I ask the king for? And she said, ask for the head on the platter, John the Baptist's head on the platter. And because he promised her whatever it is that you want, and she smooth talked her way through dance into getting him to grant her whatever it was. And because he said, I'll give you whatever, he had to give her whatever, which actually gave the promise of having John the Baptist's head on a platter. So we have to really make sure that we're not falling for the okie doke, because if you're paying attention to this world, there's a whole lot of manipulating, a whole lot of scamming. God gave us a switch tip about scamming a couple of years ago. A whole lot of lies being thrown around, and a whole lot of extra smooth talk, because the devil is seeing that God is taking his time to make sure he's putting us on. So the devil knows he can't come at us the same way he came at us yesterday. So now he has to sit back and be a little more strategic than he was an hour ago. And he's going to make sure he takes the time to do that, even when we don't take the time to sit with God so that God can give us the new game plan. The enemy always has a new one. 1 Peter 5 verse 8, I'm going to read this in the Amplified version. Be sober, well-balanced, and self-disciplined. Be alert and cautious at all times. That enemy of yours, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, fiercely hungry, seeking someone to devour. Again, he's going to make sure that he's on it. And this is what he does all the time. If you read the story of Job, when the angels appeared before God in heaven, so did the devil. And God said, what you doing? Oh, I'm just walking around, looking like, the same thing he said here. That's the same way he's described in this verse. So I'm just walking around to and fro on the earth, looking for my next victim. And if we're not well balanced in our spiritual maturity, if we're not well balanced in our godly habits, if we're not walking around making sure we possess that moral courage, that personal integrity, and that godly character, he will devour you. Okay, and you will fall for the smooth talk. Some of the things, even some of the lines that Pastor Steph was giving, I was so ashamed to say, I fell for that. I remember when I fell for that. I remember and not only did I fall for it, it was that little voice that was like, now you know that's some garbage. But because you want to hear the smooth lines, because you want to be made a believer of the bull, because you don't want to hear sound doctrine. Because sometimes 90% of the time, the sound doctrine that comes from God is checking you. Checking you don't always feel good. So you want to hear some of the smooth talk, but the smooth talk is going to have you devoured. So you pick and choose which talk you want to hear. 1 John 4, verses 1 through 2, reading this in the Message version. My dear friends, don't believe everything you hear. Carefully weigh and examine what people tell you. Not everyone who talks about God comes from God. There are a lot of lying preachers loose in the world. Here's how you test for the genuine spirit of God. Everyone who confesses openly his faith in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who came as an actual flesh and blood person, comes from God and belongs to God. And there are many ways that people can show that they believe in this and that they don't, not just by their verbiage, but by their actions, by the choices that they make, by the things they desire, by the lines that they throw out, by the excuses that people have. It's like, now you just blatantly did something real dumb and slow, and now you're going to try to follow this up with something that's going to try to make me feel sorry for you. Falling for the okie doke. The enemy will always try to throw something at you to get you to put your guard down, to get you to not be as sharp mentally, to get you to ignore the word of God. Because even when you take the time to read and study and memorize verses that you know you need for you, his job is to not get you to, I can rest that for today. No, we cannot. So we have to make sure we are making the conscious decision of making the switch, for falling for the okie doke, for making sure, as they used to say in the streets, stay woke, stay on point with God, because he's always going to make sure that you are ready to face whatever new tactics the devil has for you for the new day. Thank you, Pastor Steph.
Thank you, Shantice. Thank you. Thank you for that. Don't fall for the okie doke. I said it right before you came on.
Yes.
So let's talk. You and I, let's talk about this John the Baptist and being beheaded. It's interesting that this should come up. And I want to talk about it because there's so many myths about this. There's certain faiths that will not celebrate birthdays because John the Baptist was beheaded at a birthday party and all kinds of stories. But we're going to get the story together today. So King Herod married Herodias. That was interesting.
Yes.
The names are very similar. And John the Baptist spoke about the Jewish customs and publicly that they should not be married. So Herodias, the wife to King Herod, was upset and had this vengeance against him. But King Herod protected John the Baptist by putting him in jail. So at King Herod's birthday party, the daughter, his stepdaughter, dances so beautifully that he makes an oath with her and he tells her, I'll give you anything that you want. and up to half my kingdom. No, up to half my kingdom. And she, instead of her answering on her own, she goes to mom, Herodias, and she asks her, what should I ask him for? And she says, John the Baptist's head on a platter. And King Herod really didn't want to do it, but because he's trying to please you, because there's this oath of anything you ask me for, I'll give you. So I'm telling the story because it kind of goes in line, like you said, with your don't fall for the okie doke. So because she asks this, and he's like, you know what? I got to keep my promise because I made the oath. He sent someone to behead John the Baptist while he's in prison.
Yes.
So this whole story about this happened at the birthday party. People need to read the word. Stop believing.
Mark 6:27.
Stop falling for the okie doke. Stop falling for the okie doke and read the word of God for yourself. Stop falling for the okie doke and like keeping oaths that is sinful. You know, when you promise somebody to keep their secret and then they tell you the secret and you're like, oh my, this is dangerous or this could cost, be very costly. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke of somebody coming in. Well, I asked you to keep that a secret. And, when people say, can I tell you something? Can I tell you a secret? Like, what is it? Because I ain't promising. Based on what it is, you may not want to tell Pastor Steph. Because if the Lord tells me to share, then I'm going to share. So it's not this thing where once you gave your oath to keep the secret, you got to keep this oath. Because if it costs, how many oaths have been kept? Family lies, and people are drug addicts and drinking and committed suicide because Uncle Joe then raped and manipulated and did all of this stuff, and now you out your mind with misery. So now you drinking yourself and nobody can tell this story because the oath is we can't, we got to hold this secret. So don't fall for the okie doke. And this King Herod and his wife Herodias and the stepdaughter, that's a real big don't fall for the okie doke because you really don't know what you're being asked to keep or asked to do.
And that's the breakdown that the Holy Spirit gave when God had me study this, is God is a man of his word. And if he's telling us to give our lives to him, to be like him, anything that he tells us he's going to do, he does. Why? Because he knows his abilities. We don't know our ability. So even in our good intention of keeping said oath, right, anything can happen. Even circumstances that are out of our control can now interfere with us keeping that promise, keeping that oath. So now I done made this promise to you, and now I have to be a man or a woman of my word, and that's what King Herod held him up, because now God held him to what he said. God knew that keeping that oath was going to end up with him being sinful. But now I'm going to show you what it means to stick to what you said. Now you're going to think about the next time you allow someone to just do something that has you all open. Oh yeah, that's why he says anything more than just a simple yes or no is from the evil one, because he knows what our faculties are off. He knows all that. And I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, because even with our good intentions, like you said, oh yes, I promise I'll keep the secret for you. But then I hear what the secret is, and I'm like, well, I can't keep this to myself. So even in my good intentions of wanting to be that person that you feel comfortable with, I cannot now be the one that helps this situation grow legs by keeping this secret. Because you thinking it's gonna prevent legs from growing by keeping the secret. No, I'm now helping this to prolong. No, absolutely not. So anything outside of a simple yes or no can very well cause you to be sinful.
Absolutely. And you have the discernment of the Holy Spirit. You can't just do what you want to do. Sometimes you want to do certain things, and it's like the Spirit of the Lord is saying, and there are other times when you don't want to do something, the Spirit of the Lord is like, that's what you need to be. That's what you need to be. And it's very hard. And this is why when you get up in the morning, you really need to ask God to order your steps, order your words, because sometimes we'll say stuff and then it's like, did I just say that? You make an oath, and it's like, oh, did I just say that? Now I got to keep my word. By any means.
Even something as simple as, oh, I'll pray for you. God has snagged me on that so many times where I have intentions on praying for you. But if I don't make sure I make time during the day to pray for you, I didn't just lie to you. So now I'll even change my verbiage at sometimes, it's easy to text like, oh, praying everything goes well. I'm like, no, I hope everything goes well. Because God forbid I don't get to praying before I go to bed tonight. Now I done had you thinking I done prayed for you. And I didn't pray for you. And it wasn't even intentional or malicious. I just forgot or, didn't get around to it or didn't get as detailed. So, yeah, God, like you said, the Holy Spirit will snag you because God needs you to have that integrity.
Yeah, and you don't know when that time is going to be. You don't know when that's going to come. Look at the scenario we just got finished talking about. He loved her dancing so much. He says, I'll give you anything you want. He's not knowing that she's going to go to the mom. He has no idea. But now you've just committed to something that you don't have control over. Nah, I'm the king. I can't go back on my word. I got to keep it. That's a lot. There's a lot to that. So that's why it's like you can't commit to certain things. He says, I'll give you everything up until half my kingdom. So that means anything goes for him. And a lot of times we put our mouths out there. Well, you know what? I got you. And it's like, when you realize what the I got you is, you like, oh no, how am I going to get this done? So that just, the word of God says, let your yeas be yeas and let your nays be nays. But you need to think about that commitment before you make it.
Yep.
Because, God says, let your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays, but not sinfully. Not committing to things that, I already told I'm gonna rob the bank with her, so I gotta rob the bank. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. I like don't fall for the okie doke because that's so broad. It sounds like it's narrow, but it is really very, very broad. Don't fall for the okie doke and believing that you must commit, because the word of the Lord says, let your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays. It's almost like children obey your parents in the Lord.
In the Lord, right?
Like
in the Lord.
Children obey your parents, honor your parents, and that's it. He gives the contingency in the Lord. Well, that yea and nay, that's the same thing. That's contingent on if it's pleasing to God. We can't just be jumping all out there talking my yays got to be my yays and my nays got to be my nays. So I'm going
Pastor Steph, we do that with the sinful stuff. We don't ever want to honor that with anything that has to do with making sure my godly character and my personal integrity in Jesus is on point. Like you said, it has to always do with the sinful things. Well, I already told him I'm going to go, so I'm going to skip work. I'm going to cut class. All right, like you said, I'm going to go rob that bank. I'm going to sleep with that man. I'm going to go out with him, even though I know God done told me don't go to his house. But I already told him I'll come over and help pack. So now I got to go. But God then got on you the night before and said, don't go to that man's house. It's like the simple things. We want to uphold those oaths, those commitments. But anytime God is like, you said you was going to come to church. You said I could use you however. Oh, no, you don't want to honor those.
Right. I love this. I love this after conversation. This was great. Thank you so much for your contribution into today's conversation. We pray you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. All right. Well, I've already given my closing, my confirmation. I'm going straight to you've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping us do what we do and keeping that chat room alive. Please do not miss the opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss the opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to anyone. Until tomorrow, where it's Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Church Folk Day. Until then, God spares. I love you.